On Thursday a voice will nearly surely shoot a protect how several trust can the really cloth of the web. Why is the event, and which does it indicate for thou? Love all large S laws, the one was spelled nearly a age ago by a bundle of men who had completely no concept which they were making. How's not a critique? Who could include stipulated, as they put pen to document in 1934, how one day his speech would be utilized to manage how bits and bytes are streamed and downloadable via brass window and wireless waves, by and above ground, through our oceans and though in area. Occasionally, although, the largest efficient laws are on creation a wide concept, and during the Communication Act of 1934 is one such a concept how demands companies provided telecommunication do so out of discrimination. Should how guideline, named as name 2, use to the companies how ensure Americans in the web? It did, but now it win T. The pioneers of the web are unambiguous, loser net neutral will be anything brief of a disaster, for innovate, complementary speaking and complementary express. Yet the man organizing the changing telephone call how concept hysterics. We're on to discover out someone's law. The judgment will be done on Thursday by the 5-person executive board at the U.S. Fed Communication Committee, FCC. It will nearly surely, prohibition, a recent minute sudden twist, voice to coup, a judgment in 2015, how told name 2 should use to web facility providers. With CEO Trump card took office space, the balance sheet of force at the FCC has displaced to the Republicans. And the voice was driven to the front line of the order of business by Ajit Chair, the CEOs choose to be the FCC's president. Mr. Pai has been on the FCC executive board for more than rather than 5 years. Sames had a career generally in by the government, towards of a time start in February 2001, while he treated at Verizon as a attorney. Aha, say campaigners, who trust Mr. Share's history is an evident dispute of concern and the motive over the go. Verizon, one of the largest telecoms companies in the planet, stands to gain much of a losing of net neutral. But versa, who superior to aware how the companies will respond rather than a man who knows the industry closely. The perceivable link among examination and endowed concern is very slim. In a bronze following dinner speaking recent 1 week, Mr. Pai answered to the adverse claims by derisive them. He showed a live video sitcom sketch in that he attends a fictitious meet in a Verizon attorney. We wish to brainwash and bridegroom a Verizon marionette to set as FCC president, the attorney says to Mr. Share. Amazing, he replies. Net neutral campaigners say loser net neutral will indicate web facility providers will be complementary to tread all above the outdoor network, retarding downward services they don't love, and acceleration up ones they do. Campaigners terror we now person and web wherever you pay more than to use real love Netflix, or how companies may be powerful armed in profitable ISPs in procedure to support nice accessing to his food. Manufacturing real hard for new companies who can't provide to pay for concessional treat. On a more extensive standard, such who supporting net neutral claim how complementary speaking could be negatively impacted, in ISPs capable to impede accessing to real the firm's owners do not accept in, or are by blood pressure to suppress. The web, for all its faults, has thrived as a standard game box. But supporters of removal net neutral, the ISPs, generally, claim the regulatory stifles his capacity to put and innovate. They say concerns on unjust throttling and monitoring are bloated. In addition, the is a complementary marketplace, consumer can dictatorship which corporations do by vote in his wallets. The concept how where is significant contest for web accessing in America is ridiculous. The big players, Verizon, ONNT, and Comcast, communicate nearly each us to the web, but do so out of considerable overlapping. In its largest latter information, June 2016, the FCC established how more than rather than 50M homes in the US had just one selection of web supplier if they requested quick wideband, deliberate to be 25 Mbps or over. Same market isn't quite martial to do such type of arguments, told Ark Sicker, Chief of Mechanical Engineering at Carnegie Mellon, and the FCC's ex-head technique official. He's unwise, later, to believe how common forces will indicate ISPs are enforced to do option how happy his customers in instance they up and keep for else provider. It paves the way for campaigners' horror script, top pictorial by a chirp of Democrat Congresswoman R.O. Khanna. He share, as other include in the history, a menu bar of Portugal supplier Mio. It showed how specific services, such as public and piece of music, were proposed as pay append-ons. Will ISPs in the US do the identical? They urge no. Will Comcast Unet or choke accessing to websites? Not reads a collateral of the business. It adds how it will not attract in any pay prioritization, how is, deals in companies to do his services more rapid at the charge of other. Verizon, too, has pledged to maintain principles of the outdoor web, disputing net neutral isn't change at all. But FCC's formulation is excellently precise. If web providers wish to choke traffic, where is anything break them, as length as they are translucent? Such to involve openly provided data about an provider's practices in honor to block, throttling, pay prioritization, and traffic jam control, the FCC explainable. Should an ISP failure to do the required disclosures, each in entire or in portion, the FCC will get coercion activity. On to the Center for Sympathetic Policy, $101 meter has been consumable by the telecoms production in wooing the 535 members of convention for a kind of reasons, not fair net neutral. Where is no evident supporter share while it comes to campaigning contributions, of the top 4 persons highest earners, 2 are Republicans, and 2 are Democrats. The man who has acquired the largest cash of the production is Republican John McCain, although where's a easy explain for how, same's been where the longest. Although while it comes to disputing on net neutral, Democrats include characteristically been in favor of net neutral, time Republicans, in a few exceptions, refuge T. Republicans love to be deliberate the profi business side, and the profi business reason for ditching net neutral is one of invest and innovate. The ISPs, and trading organizations how present telecoms interests, claim how before 2015, while the Democrat-controlled FCC went downward stringent on net neutral, the web was making fair penalty. Too many decades, the web flourished by a bipartisan regulating attitude how permitted it to work, increase and prosper complementary of superfluous by the government controls, Verizon says. Invest could indicate more rapid coil out of excellent high-rate fiber web. Or, more than pressingly, it could enhance protection for human beings in village America who hardly include any type of web at all. But the would need how the ISPs select to expend cash in the path. The FCC's go doesn't engage any demand to perpetrate to invest in web, village, or differently. Else reason put hereinafter by Mr. Pai is how new web providers could come, expansion the selection for Americans receive on the internet. He tell to 5 little ISPs how all welcomed his plans. A continuous topic I heard was how Name 2 had slow invest and injected regulating ambiguity in his industry plans, Mr. Pai told in a declaration. In brief, hard-handed regulatory is manufacturing it stronger for less providers to shut the digital share in village America. Yet how type contradicts the one pronounced by no less than rather than 30 little ISPs the history year. In a email to Mr. Share, they jointly told they had length-backed web neutral as a mandrel concept for the deploy of networks for the social to accessing the web. It would just potential occur in the identical places wherever where is the largest contest already, he told. How doesn't resolve the issue for village America and some areas how don't include the identical thickness. Where might be several segments of America wherever human beings stay up, but I don't believe the will be national. As well not clear is how the might affect the world image, taking into account the US's essential part in dictating trends and management of a plate it eventually developed. Europe Association rules to defend net neutral, put in location in 2016, were heralded as a triumphant by digital rights campaigners. The changes in the US will not immediately influence users external of the nation, but will future emphasize the philosophic differences among the US and Europe attitude to digital rights. The trial guideline up to the changing has been slovenly. New York's area lawyer alleges how there were 2 millionth counterfeit submissions, several with identities of corpse New Yorkers, done to the FCC advice. It charged the FCC of refusal to explore, and claimed the voice be deferred before the large scam had been looked in. In May, as TV comic John Oliver ran a sector on the question calling TV audience to email the FCC his type, the committee's website was unavailable. The FCC told it was attack. In a collaborative email the 1 week, web pioneers named for the voices cancel, proverb the go was spurred via out of advice in relevant expert and controlled by human beings who just did not aware which they are making. Mr. Pi acquired threats to his household, consisting signs external his household. A man in Syracuse was detained following manufacturing die threats versus a senator. In brief, the object has really rapidly become very politically loaded and perverse. The indisputable outcome, a full close downward of structural dialogue on which could be a determining judgment in the web story. Few real could occur of their trial challenges could latency realization of the FCC's rules, or coup them generally. If CEO Trump card, or else Republic applicant, fails to win in 2020, a Democrat-controlled FCC could just coup the governing one day once again. Creation, a policy soccer out of net neutral, a ticker how swings in every new authority, could be challenging the largest damage to the web economics. Congressional activity is the just way to resolve the infinite behind and hereinafter on net neutral rules how we've seen above the history few year, argue Sen John Thune, a Republic. So lot of us in convention already accept on lot of the principles of net neutral. If Republicans and Democrats include the policy supporting to job along on such a trade-off, we can accept a regulating scope how will stay the testing of period. You can achieve Dave securely via ciphered exchanging messages ep alarm on 1-628-400-7370.